Here's that MS-250 Stihl chainsaw that I tore apart a while ago. Anyways, my friend decided to get the parts for it, so I got new seals, fuel line, the impulse line, bearings, and all that. So I'm going to be making some videos on how to repair that from the bottom up. So I've already got one bearing off and one seal on this side, and on this side there's a little clip here on the shaft right here, and you can use both fingers to pry it out, or you can use a small screwdriver as well. Hold one end and push it out, and then just pop it right off. Once you've got that off, just remove the seal. So now I'm going to put the new bearing on this side. I've already got the one on that side. Now if you go to put the bearing in and it's tight like that on the shaft, just use a deep socket. You want to use a socket that's going to go against the inner part of the bearing, like that, and then just tap it in. So just a simple, and you want to tap it so it's right against the crankshaft there. Now you can put the oil seals on. You may want to put a bit of grease or oil just so that they start off on something smooth. Just going to put a bit of oil here. You want the side with the spring toward the shaft. And when you pass it over the groove, just be careful you don't damage the seal. When you put this back in the cylinder, you want to make sure that the rings are in their proper place where the grooves are on the piston. So there's a groove for each ring. And now you've got your cylinder. This is the exhaust side, and you want to make sure you get things on the right side. This is the flywheel side, will go on the left side. And another way to know for sure you're putting it in right is that the grooves on the piston cannot be pointing toward the exhaust board. So it's going to be smooth going in. So to put it in, got some oil on the rings. I'm going to hold the rings compressed, and now I'm going to insert it down in the cylinder. And just gently go down. Also make sure you've got the seals in their proper grooves on each side here. So that looks good. Next thing is make sure that this is all cleaned up. So I've got some RTV silicone here. It's Permatex, and I'm just going to put a film on here. There's no gasket that goes here. All it is silicone. You don't want to put too much because it can go in the engine. You can put some on the sleeves of the oil seals if you want. It's not necessary, but you can put a little bit on there if you want. Now once you've got the silicone on the cover, just simply insert it back on. Now you're going to notice that there's notches on one side and the other side is flat. The flat side goes on the side of the flywheel, which would be on the left side. And you're going to see that the notches match up on the side of the clutch here. The next part is going to have to insert the whole block inside the crankcase assembly of the saw. So simply go like this, insert it in there. You want to make sure that the shaft is going through here on the other side. You want to line it up like that. So make sure it doesn't separate itself, and insert the 4 bolts underneath. You can put Loctite in these bolts if you want to. Not necessary, but you can. Make sure they're pretty tight. I did put some Loctite on the bolts. Now before I continue, I just realized that I forgot to put back this little clip on the shaft, and I'm going to do that now. Usually you would put this on before you even put the block in the saw, so I'm just going to reach in here and put it on.
on.
So now the block's in, all the bolts are tightened up. I even got that little clip on that I was telling you about over here. So before I continue on fixing this, I'm going to air blow it with my compressor just to clean out all the dirt there. And I'll do the same on that side. So I just air blew it with the air compressor. Now I'm going to replace the impulse line as well, which is right here. It connects right on the block right here on the cylinder. So I'm going to pop it off with a screwdriver. There it is. Put it back in. It doesn't appear to matter which side goes in. Just insert it through the hole at the back here. The hole is right there and you can see the connector. And just simply push on it. So I've got this pushed in all the way down, and that's the way it goes. So this will finish off part 1 of repair of the MS-250 Stihl chainsaw. In the next video I'm going to replace the fuel line and I'm going to continue the assembly of the power head.